The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. I call Peter Bedford.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And before I begin, I'd like to thank the honourable member for Aberdeen North for introducing the 10-minute rule bill today. And whilst we may not agree on that bill, I believe this House is at its best when members argue for what they believe in. And I'm glad we have the opportunity to do so today. Madam Deputy Speaker, my Conservative colleagues and I cannot support this bill. We oppose it because we fundamentally believe in two core principles: fairness and personal responsibility, and I believe that this bill undermines both. Let's be clear, this debate is not about the principle of child benefit. As the eldest of 3 children from a single-parent family, I know from my own lived experience the challenges faced by those in genuine poverty, having to scrabble around at the end of the week to find enough money to keep the electricity meter running, having to go next door to borrow a cup of sugar to the end of the week, having to go about the basics at school that most of my friends had at the time. Every child deserves the best start in life, and we should support that. But what is being proposed is something entirely different. This bill seeks to remove the 2-child benefit cap, a cap introduced by the last government to address a spiralling welfare system that was at times being abused. Madam Deputy Speaker, such a cap is fair to the hard-pressed taxpayer. Why should individuals already in receipt of state support gain additional benefit for having yet more and more children, whilst working families who get up early, pay their taxes and take full responsibility for their lives do not? Removing this cap would not foster fairness. It would penalise people we should be championing, working families who play by the rules. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is only the Conservative Party that is standing up for these families, promoting individual responsibility and protecting the country's fragile finances. Meanwhile, we have members on the government benches, not content with the chaos they've inflicted on the nation recently, now competing to be the most socialist, declaring their support for scrapping the cap, despite knowing full well it'll cost the country an eye-watering £4.5 billion a year. Madam Deputy Speaker, we must be honest with the British people. This is a massive unfunded commitment that doesn't reward people for doing the right thing. Simply put, I want to put to the House, why should a small business owner in mid-Leicestershire, already burdened with additional taxes, be asked to pay even more to support someone else's children, especially when they're struggling to support their own? Because at the heart of this is a philosophical debate. As Conservatives, we believe in incentivising work, not penalising those who seek it. We do not consign people to a life of state dependency. We encourage them to strive, to achieve and be the best they can be. Unfortunately, it's not just the government benches that are promoting this recklessness. The Green Party, for instance, wants to spend £40 billion on their radical net zero agenda while still backing the 2-child cap's removal. And the SNP want to add billions to their welfare bill by pursuing an open borders immigration policy paid for by hard-working Scots. But most surprisingly of all, though, is the Reform UK's position. Many of their honourable members are proud Thatcherites, or so I thought, but they appear to have undergone a Damascene conversion. I believe they are now backing scrapping the cap, a policy that would hammer hard-working, ordinary white van men across the country. As we approach what would have been Mrs Thatcher's centenary, I can only imagine what she would have to say about such anti-aspirational and profligate approach to public finances. You simply cannot claim to want to reduce the welfare bill by pursuing policies that will push the bill up by billions. So let me speak directly to the British public, who are inherently conservative-minded. If your political beliefs are rooted in economic freedom and low taxation, can you really support parties that want to take your hard-earned money and hand it to those unwilling to take responsibility? Only the Conservative Party stands with you. We believe in letting people keep more of the money they've earned. We believe in addressing poverty at its roots, not just writing cheques, but by reforming the system that traps people into dependency. Our approach is clear. As the Shadow Secretary of State has already said, a future Conservative government will stop sickness benefits for foreign nationals, fix the UK's sick note culture and reintroduce face-to-face assessments to stop people gaming the system. We need to bring about a cultural shift where work, personal responsibility and self-reliance are once again core to our national ethos. As I said at the Work and Pensions Select Committee last week, we should not blindly throw money at the welfare system. We must instead highlight the importance of getting a job, promoting better financial management and upholding a meritocratic system where hard work always triumphs over idleness. Madam Deputy Speaker, we will vote against this bill today. We are the only party telling the uncomfortable truths about our out-of-control welfare system and the serious financial realities facing our country. We owe it to our constituents to protect the public purse. We owe it to hard-working families to uphold fairness. And we owe it to future generations to build a society built not on entitlement, but on effort, enterprise and aspiration.
The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. No. Division. Clear the lobby. Order. Order.
The ayes to the right, 89. The noes to the left, 79.
The ayes to the right were 89, the noes to the left 79, so the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlock. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Brian Leishman, Jim Shannon, Claire Hanna, Shan Berry, Liz Saville-Roberts, Jeremy Corbyn, Saoirse Eastwood, Stephen Flynn, Pete Wishart, Brendan O'Hara, John Milne and myself, Madam Deputy Speaker.